guys, well, it's the middle of March now and I haven't started this car since at least November. I was gonna fire it up and drive it onto the lift here, but it occurred to me, since one of the things I wanna do is an oil change, if I just push it onto the lift and not fire it up, every bit of oil that can possibly drain down to the pan will be in the pan after it's sat not running for months. So this is my best chance to get it all out. So last summer I did a pretty rudimentary overhaul on this engine just with a Dingleball hone and some fresh bearings. And so I'm interested to see on the drain plug magnet and also take a look at the oil, and I'm going to cut the filter open. I'm pretty interested to see if it's making any metal or if the oil looks pretty good. So it'd be kind of like my first sign of whether the engine is healthy or not. Now, it was running great, had good oil pressure, wasn't making any funny noises. So it seemed like everything is okay, but this first oil change is something I definitely want to pay attention to. Alright guys, we're about 15 minutes in now, just down to the drips at this point. I'm trying to get every little bit out I can just because I'm kind of OCD like that. In the meantime, here's the drain plug, and there's basically not a speck on it. So, it's a good sign to start off with. Alright, so just taking a look at the oil here. Let me go grab a light. Really not seeing any obvious glitters or anything. Looks pretty good. Paper towel for traction. There's maybe a few just like teeny powder-sized particles. But we are breaking in new bearings, new rings on honed cylinders. I mean, there is a such thing as breaking in, so I don't think I see anything here. If I'm seeing anything, I don't think it's enough to be alarmed about. I can't even tell if that's metal or if that's just what the filter looks like. But all in all, I think I got a perfectly healthy LT1. So the oil I drained out of here was a 30 weight conventional break-in oil. And I know everybody's saying, hey, with a roller cam, you don't need a break-in oil. But actually it was for the rings. So the Molly rings instructions said that it was critical to use a break-in oil for the first so many miles. I was a little bit concerned already about having the rings seat on my Dingleball hone job. So I wanted everything in my favor. And so if the instructions said use a break-in oil to seat the rings, I went ahead and used a break-in oil. I've got probably 500 miles on it now, as well as about 20 pulls on a chassis dyno and maybe 8 quarter-mile passes. So I think any break-in the rings we're going to do, they've done at this point. Now these cars call for a pretty light viscosity oil. I want to say it's a 520 or a 5W30 synthetic. Now I've just been through this engine and I know that all of the main and rod bearing clearances, there's nothing tighter than 2.5 thousandths. So I'm opting to go a little bit heavier on the oil. So I've got a 10W40 synthetic, and we'll see how that works out oil pressure wise. I can always adjust a little up or a little down on the next oil change. And if you agree or disagree with that, let me know in the comments what your thinking is on that. I'm always up to learn something. Now, since this thing has sat for so long without running, I'm going to go ahead and remove the fuel pump relay so that I can just crank it on the starter for a little while and let it build up oil pressure before I actually run it. Oh. Kill the starter. There we go. One or two. All right, see if it'll run. Sweet. Wideband's working. It'll be an open loop at this point. All right, she lives. All right, guys, so tonight it is March 15th, which means I have exactly 2 months to the day before the first time I can go down the drag strip for this season. So between now and then, I'm going to get busy installing these new rear end gears. So if you've been following my channel, you might know that I'm lucky enough to be testing out 4 different Summit Pro SBC camshafts in this car. Unfortunately, between my 323 gears being a little bit lame to begin with, and then also having swapped on some taller Mickey Thompson ET Streets, I'm not really able to wind the engine out to the higher RPMs in 3rd gear on the quarter mile. So as the power band shifts higher with each cam I swap in, a car that's grunting along at 4,000 RPM for half of the track really isn't the best test bed to show the difference between those cams. So I'll be swapping from 323 to 373 and then re-baselining the 8801 cam, and then I've got the rest of the summer to try to get through the next 3 cam swaps. Thanks so much for watching. I'll have another video for you in May when the track is open.